Hey, what's up everyone? This is Matt with ConvertKit. I hope you're having a great day today. Thanks so much for joining me here. And I know this isn't a live workshop. We do those every week. You can just go to convertkit.com/training to get on office hours or live training. So those options are still there. But what I wanted to do with this was give you an opportunity to watch something straight through without too many questions being answered that maybe and maybe not aren't relative to your account, but just to be able to watch something as I go through it step by step, piece by piece on what I think are the best ways that you can get started with ConvertKit and get up and running. Okay, so let's go ahead first. I want to tell you real quick. Let me take you out of this. Let me tell you what we're going to be covering here today, and we're going to go pretty quick. But that's why this replay exists, so you can pause it, you can go back. So let's pop this open and let me tell you what we're going to be covering today. We're going to go over how to create an automated marketing funnel. So that's really what I want to do here, is show you this is what's possible with ConvertKit, that you've been using some other programs and you've been frustrated with the automations or maybe the usability of different things. I'm going to show you big picture about how, to me, the journey happens for someone who comes to your website. Maybe it's not a website, but let's just use the example of a website. Someone who comes to your website and they make a transformation from reader to subscriber to buyer and to raving fan. I'm going to show you how we go through all those different pieces in ConvertKit and how we can actually automate those things for you once you have them set up. And I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. We're going to go over some tips for landing pages and forms. There are some other videos on that I'll link you out to, but I'm going to show you the basics of it. And we'll talk a little bit about course creation, especially I'm going to give you a simple question that you can ask yourself if you're struggling to get your first sequence out there. We're going to talk about using automations, a couple of things with integrations, but you'll need to look specifically at those integration articles if you're using a particular one. And then we're going to talk about creating useful segments and tags, because especially like for me, I came over from MailChimp. I was using Aweber also before ConvertKit, just as a customer, not even before I was working here. And that was probably one of the biggest things that, it's not like it's a huge thing, like you may not switch because of segments and tags, but to me they become really powerful, and I want to show you like just an easy way, an easy analogy of kind of thinking through them. So let's get out of this and let me show you what to me, so I'm a really visual person. Let me bring this back up, sorry. I'm a really visual person, so I think of things, I want to be able to try and understand something on a single page. Maybe I'm just overly simple, but this is the way that I see things processing in ConvertKit. This is the journey, again, I'm going to use that analogy, the journey that I see your readers going on to becoming raving fans. So this is how it goes, and this is how we're going to progress through the next. This should take no more than 30 minutes, so you can watch it on your lunch break. That was really my idea here, is that someone comes onto your website and they have an opportunity to join through a form or a landing page, but they have that form, and then once they join, they start to get that follow-up sequence. So they get email 1, they get email 2, they get email 3, and all of that, like every email provider has that. Of course, we need to have that, and I do think that the way that ConvertKit lays it out is a little bit more straightforward than some other tools, but that's like the baseline. You need to have that, and we do. What happens next is where ConvertKit really starts to shine, because this is where the automations and the actions come in, that if you say, if you liked that, here's more, and this is why it's better. And then you offer that link. Okay, so like buy now, buy my course, buy my ebook. If you don't have any products yet, maybe it's join my webinar, come to my event, whatever it may be, join this other course that I've put together. So when they click on that link to take an action, we call those link triggers. I'm going to show you how to do those. So when they click on that link to buy now, let's use the example, we can create a tag that's going to indicate that they were interested. Because if they're clicking, they're interested, right? Maybe they just want to see the sales page. Maybe they want to see more about what it costs, but they are interested. If they go all the way through on that page and you have your integration set up, then you're going to also be able to tag them as being a buyer of the product or the ebook or whatever. And the reason that that's really valuable is that it's also we can also take off that interested tag. So now I know three different kind of categories of my readers. I have people who are buyers, I have people who are interested buyers, and I have people who haven't taken action yet. And if I wanted to, I could send 3 different distinct messages to those 3 categories. We can just put them in segments and tags. I'll show you how to do all of that. But the biggest thing that I love about this, and something that as a seller I got caught in a little bit, and as a buyer I get this all the time. And you may not want to do this since you're just watching, and this isn't live, but ask yourself, how many times have you purchased something, let's say from a blogger, a podcast, or whatever, and then like a week later, a couple of days later, you get another email asking you to buy that exact same thing? It's incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating for you as the buyer. It's frustrating for the seller as well. And if you're following someone and they've built up enough trust with you that you're buying the thing that they're providing, they're probably not a spammer. And so it's usually just a thing with the tool and the automation. I'm going to show you exactly how to not have that happen to you or to your buyers in ConvertKit, that we can automatically exclude them from that future pitch. Okay, so let's get out of this and let's hop in directly to ConvertKit, the tool. So I'm going to take you through my account real quick, because it's the one that I know the best, and I can give you really specific examples, and I can show you the back end of my website. We're going to mainly be covering WordPress today in terms of the like getting the form and the landing page all set up, but you can also do it with Squarespace. I'll show you that article real quick. Let's say first that we want to create a form. Right? I think this is the best thing that you can do early on when you're getting started with ConvertKit, whether you are brand new to email marketing, period, and you just need to get that first form on your site, or if you are coming over from another tool, let's go ahead and get those forms switched out. So the form that you had on your old tool, even if you're using an integration like Lead Pages or SumoMe or Opt-in Monster, let's switch those forms up. And so the people who were going to your old provider are now coming into ConvertKit, okay? Because once you have all those forms and pages taken care of, now that's a good time to import your subscribers over, okay? Because if you import your subscribers first and you still have people going to your old tool, then you're just gonna have to keep importing. It can be kind of messy. So I would switch the forms first, or just get those forms on your site, and then let's import the subscribers if you're migrating from another tool. A couple of things, and we do have some great videos on here, so I won't belabor the form creation aspect too much, because we have some great videos in the Help Center that I'll kind of tag here. But if you want to change the color, maybe to match your site, then just come on over here and click on this magic wand tool, and you can change these colors right here. Just click on it and you can drag the color selector around, or if you know the hex code, just go ahead and put that in right there, okay? We won't mess with any of that. Any of the text you can change right here. So just click it to select it. The only caveat here is if you want to put an image in, I would actually put it right here in the description box. It's just a little bit easier to resize and mess with. Okay, this can be a little buggy, so I wouldn't mess with that right now unless you just upload the perfect size image, which keep it no more than 300, but again, I'd put it right here. You can change this, you can change this text if you want, maybe you just want to say email, I don't know. But especially this button text, that's all you have to just go ahead and click it, select it. It could be like get the bonus or get access, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and save this. Another quick thing, and this is more, to me, this is more valuable for the landing pages, but if you click view right here, you're gonna see a preview, but it is also a live view of the form. So if I was to click here, let me just go to another page and pretend that I was just pasting this in, you can see it's still gonna come up. So what that means is even if you don't feel you're 100% ready with your website, maybe you just wanna create a landing page, we'll talk about that in just a minute right after this, you can still use these links. So you can send this to, like say I just wanted to send, maybe I was doing the 10-person rule and I was sending an email or texts out to friends and family saying like, hey, I'm doing this thing on Sketchnotes. That's my thing, you'll see. I'm doing this thing on Sketchnotes. If you're interested in learning more, getting better ideas and remembering them more accurately, just go here and sign up. So I can use this link here. If you don't like the look of the link, I totally understand that. You could use a link shortening service like Bitly, or I'm going to show you how to kind of do it in WordPress as well. All right, let's hop into the settings. So we're going through forms here. And if you want to change the name, I would do that. I like to just keep it really simple and put like where it is and what it does. So it might be like sidebar or after post. If I wanted to change the success message, I can do that right here. I can also redirect to another page. So if you have a thank you page already set up on your site, or maybe something with lead pages or whatever, you can put that in right here. Actually, if you're using lead pages, you need to have it all on lead pages, but you'll see that in the integration document. This is an important part right here, all right, where it says sequence settings. So remember that part just a few minutes ago in that little one page review of ConvertKit of what it does, that we take people from the form, from the landing page, and put them into the sequence. To me, this is the best place for that to happen. So if you click right here, then you'll say, okay, I want them to get the first 5 sketch notes sequence, and I'm gonna make it mandatory for everybody, okay? So I just click save, and that would be all done. So now when people sign up to this form, they're gonna go directly into that sequence. The incentive email. So the incentive email kills 2 birds with 1 stone. What it does is it does provide that extra layer of confirmation and security for your account and for your subscribers, that you know that they are 100% interested because they're clicking that confirmation email. The other thing, and you can change any of this text, even this button text right here. The other thing that it does is if you want to send them to another thank you page, like you have a bonus hosted somewhere, or you have a incentive like a lead magnet, a freebie, whatever you want, some kind of content upgrade, all you have to do is click here and upload the file. That's all you have to do. And then they're going to get that right away. So if you were struggling in the past, or you were annoyed that every single time you had a content upgrade, you had to create a new list, or you had to do all this stuff, all you have to do now is create a form that obviously they would have to sign up through anyway. And then you can add a specific individual download or URL bonus link to that form. Okay, so immediately when they click on it, they'll download it or go to that page. Just a quick thing on style. Again, I'll link to some of the form style stuff and more specific customization videos, but you can change up your style here. If you want to make it a modal pop-up or a slide-in, there's some display options here that you can use. The only kind of tip, best practice for this is if you are using a slide-in or a modal, then I would click on hide the form, because nobody wants, it's almost like, you want to exclude buyers from getting your pitches if they've already purchased it. You don't want to keep showing a pop-up to someone who's already signed up on that pop-up, right? So that's what I would do, just hide the form so that when people have subscribed, they're not going to see it anymore. Sound good? Now let's talk about embedding the form. And embedding is just a fancy word for, can you please put this on my website? So what I want to do, let me show you first the WordPress API, and what you're or the WordPress plugin. What you're gonna do, let's come in here. So this is the back end of my WordPress. Try and keep it clean. Let's come in here to plugins, add new. And all you're gonna do is just type in ConvertKit right here. It's set to active right now because I've already downloaded it, but it would say install now. So you would click that and then come down here to ConvertKit settings and put your API key in right here. You don't need to worry about your secret key for just the basic ConvertKit plugin. It's needed for some other integrations, but you'll know what those are if you're using those integrations. The next thing, and this is, I'm explaining stuff and it's still only taking a couple minutes. Right here where it says default form, it says ideas after post. So this is going to show up automatically at the bottom of every post and page. Now I can change it, I can remove it if I want to on individual posts and pages, but by default, this is what's going to show up. Okay, so you see all of these that I have. I want to set a default one, so I've got ideas after post, and just by doing that and saving, I've already got a form on my site. Okay, that took literally less than a minute, and I was explaining things. So you're going to be fine. You're going to have this up on your site. You're going to start getting subscribers. Just tell people what you're doing. Follow that 10-person rule if you're starting out. But this is all you have to do. The other way that you can get it on your site, there's a couple other ways. So this just shows up at the bottom of pages and posts. If you have a sidebar, then what you can do, now I don't have a sidebar actually, but let's just pretend this after entry says sidebar, and delete this. All you have to do, again, super easy, just drag over the ConvertKit form widget. I would delete this title just because that's the widget title, not the form title. The form title is already in the form over on the ConvertKit side, okay? So even though I wouldn't have the default thing, it would be like, join the free course or whatever. That's the form title, and you don't have to put that back in here. That can stay blank. And then I'm just going to select this same one. Where is it? I mean, I wouldn't use this one maybe because it's specific to the after post, but I could use any one that I wanted. Okay. And again, easy as that. 2 minutes. I've shown you 2 ways to get ConvertKit forms on your site. The other way that you can do it, if you want to, is that you can use a text widget. So let's say you wanted to use the JavaScript. You didn't want to download the plugin. That's totally fine. I really like the JavaScript. So you just take this JavaScript here and you pop it in right here. That's it. And it's going to show up same way. All right. It's as easy as that. The other way that I want to show you, so let's say you don't want it in your sidebar, you don't want it at the bottom, you want it like in the middle or at the top of a page or post. All right. Like maybe you're doing a sales page. So let's come in here and I'll show you a couple of different things that you can still do. Let's come down to this scratch page. And I'm going to grab the JavaScript still. I could use the raw HTML here. Anywhere I can use the JavaScript, I can usually use the raw HTML. I personally only use raw HTML if I'm going to be doing really specific customizations. And since I'm not a developer or that talented of a coder myself, I don't really use the JavaScript, or I don't really use the raw HTML. Okay, but I could grab that if I wanted to. So here is the visual editor. And you can see this little guy right here. That's actually the JavaScript, but that's why we don't, I repeat, we don't want to just do this, okay? Even though that looks, and it is code, we don't want it to be on the visual editor side, okay? So where it says visual right here, we're going to delete it. I'm going to just put a little placeholder there. And we're going to switch over to the text editor. And this is where we want to put the JavaScript. I could also put the raw HTML here. And then let's just preview it. Should come right up. Might have to save first. And you can see that it's going to show up right in the middle. That's my Sumo Me welcome mat. And it's just going to show up in the middle right there, really easy. So that's all you have to do. So I've shown you 3 different ways that you can get a ConvertKit form onto your WordPress site. Let me tell you real quick before we get to landing pages. Let's go over here to help.convertkit.com. This is a really helpful resource. I would hope so. And it is. The team behind it is just, man, props to Haley and to Stephanie. And tons of people have written in this, but they really own it. But all you have to do to embed a ConvertKit form on your Squarespace page is edit a page and add a new code block, and then paste your one-line JavaScript embed code in, and that's all you have to do. Like step 3 is literally just looking at it on your site. So that's all you have to do for Squarespace. It's really straightforward. There's another video down here, like if you want to use their cover pages, you just need to watch that. Okay. One other thing. Now we did talk about, hey, what if we wanted to have, let me show you this. So this is a ConvertKit landing page, all right? It does convert really well. It's really simple, but it converts really well. And this is all a ConvertKit landing page, but it doesn't say app.convertkit.com/1126386753009. It says ideas.art.com/free course, okay? So how do I make that happen? Because that looks much cleaner, and it does. What I would do is add a new page. I've already done that, so we're just gonna edit this one here. So when I add that new page, I'm just gonna edit the URL right here, the page name, and then I just need to set the landing page here. Now this can only be done on WordPress right now with the WordPress plugin. Okay, so make sure you have both of those. You have both of those included. Sound good? I'm asking people who aren't here, but I hope that you're nodding your head as you're watching this. If not, make some comments, send an email to us, help@convertkit.com. Let me know where you feel stuck. Would love to help you out. Let's switch over now. Let's switch back over here. So we know how to create a form. Let me show you a landing page real quick. It's pretty much the same stuff, but let me show you. I kind of started working on one. Where is it? I think this is it. Yep. And we'll come back to this actually, but it's the same kind of layout. I would keep this image, no more than like 6 600 pixels in width. You may have to play with it a little bit. You can also try and put an image up here. Basically, anywhere you see this formatting bar where it says insert image, you can insert an image. But you would just need to add in all your content. And just, another thing, a quick tip is that if you don't want to add a few more details, just delete it and it won't show up. Okay? So let's save it. Same thing with the magic wand. Let's come over to the settings. And really, there's only two ways to really use the landing pages right now. One, again, is to click on view and grab this link. The other way is what I just showed you, okay, of adding it to a WordPress page. So both of those are options. I'm going to name this cookies real quick. And follow along with me. I know you're going to nail it, but which one do I want to add it to? Of course, cookies. So we're going to save this one. I don't really need to do anything with embedding. Again, there's only two ways to use these. Incentive email, same way. And as a quick thing, if I only wanted to do a single opt-in, if there was a reason that you were wanting to do that, just go ahead and unclick that. Okay. And then style, if I wanted to change the style of it to one of the other three, then that's what I could do that right here pretty seamlessly. So let's go now into sequences, and there's a couple of things that I want to show you with sequences. So remember back with the sketch notes that I added them to this first 5 sketch notes sequence. In here, let me just tell you a couple of things about formatting, and this is where I want to tell you just a little bit about the automations, about link triggers. Remember about moving people around based on the actions that they've taken, and also excluding buyers from a pitch, all right, because we don't want that. If I want this first one to go out immediately, all I have to do is say delay sending by, it's set to 1 day by default, but all I need to do is crank this down to 0 and it'll say send immediately. Okay, that's all you have to do. If I want to change the days, now immediately is immediately, but all these other ones, if I wanted them to only get, if I wanted to exclude the weekend, see, only on weekdays, then I could do that. A couple of things about formatting. Of course, you can put in images. You can change some of the font formatting, not font, but paragraph kind of text format. Like I could make these different level headers. Of course, there are links, more. Quick thing on the videos, all right? It's not a good idea to embed videos in your website. That was a silly thing to say. It's not a good idea to embed videos in your emails. In fact, the ConvertKit email editor won't accept video embeds at all. So what I recommend doing, and what I've done here, is if you just take a screenshot of the video so it's clear that a video is coming, and then click on edit and just add the link to the video in right there. If you don't want to send them off-site to like Vimeo or YouTube, yeah, I totally get that. There's a couple of things that I'd recommend. One is you could use Wistia. Wistia is an amazing video platform. The other thing is that you could just put that video onto a page of your website or onto another post, okay? So that's another thing you do. It keeps them in your brand, in your ecosystem, if you will. And you can do this for any image, all right? You can also, now I will say you can put GIFs, or GIFs, depending on what you want to do. You can put, so you can see right here, it's kind of moving around. I would still keep your images to no more than 600 pixels in width, but you can put a GIF or GIF in here. All right, just add it like you would any other image. Okay. Two other things I want to point out on sequences, and this is getting into the funnel aspect and the sales aspect of it. So here's the third one. Now notice down here, this is where I make that first soft sell. And I say, if you're enjoying these first 3 lessons, it's just the beginning. You can see the rest right away, along with 12 more lessons in the full Sketchnote Mastery course. See more details and pricing here. Okay, so I'm kind of following that same tactic of, if you liked this, here's more, and this is why it's better. So when they click on this, again, I know no one is watching this live with me, but can you think to yourself real quick, when the person just clicked on that email, what's the first tag? What's the first tag automation that took place? Now, if they go all the way through and they buy, so they buy for $29, they go over through here, all done, great. Let's click out of this, and let's go over to the automations here in ConvertKit. So remember, let's scroll down. Here we go. So remember this right here. this is the link. So we say when someone clicks a link, we're going to add the tag of being interested. So I bet you remember that. So when they click on this link, we're going to add them as being interested. Now, if they go all the way through and they buy, remember? Now this is with Thinkific. You would set it up specific to your integration. When that buyer tag is added, we're going to remove the interested tag. Remember? This is perfect. I love this. I was so pumped about this. When I first came over to ConvertKit from MailChimp, and I'd used Aweber also, and I was thinking about going to Infusionsoft, and it just made my stomach hurt. When I saw this is what I was like, oh man. It just, I was like, here's my money. It's done. This is exactly what I need. So I hope you're feeling that same way too right now. And let me show you a little bit more. Remember that next step. Now we know who is interested and we know who has purchased, not bought. That's not a word. We know who has purchased. So right over here, now this is the big pitch. So we've got those first 5 emails, those first 5 lessons, and then 3 days after that, so a week after they've signed up, they get the big pitch. And all the way down here is same links. Let me show you this real quick. So how do I get a link trigger on? I just go ahead and select the text that I want to link. And then the only difference between a regular, like just pasting in the link, and a link trigger is that you do right now need to select the link trigger specifically from this drop-down menu. So you can see I'm selecting it right here. And the lightning bolt lets me know that it's awesome and it's ready to go, okay? Now, here's the thing. If someone has already purchased from this third email, I don't want them to receive the big pitch, right? So what I'm gonna do, right here, you see this blue filter. What I'm gonna do is just say exclude, as in do not get subscribers from this email. So anyone who has subscribed to the starter, who's subscribed to that or added to that buyer tag, they are not gonna get the email, okay? So this is that thing that frustrates you as a seller, that makes you mad and feel unimportant as a buyer. This does not have to happen to you as a ConvertKit customer, okay? So I love this. This is one of my favorite things. It was just incredible. Okay. The next thing, the only other thing that I really want to go over here is to tell you the difference between segments and tags inside of ConvertKit and where forms play in also. So I would think of it this way. All right. So eyes up here or down in the corner, wherever the video ends up being. Segments are ways to organize tags, while tags are ways to organize subscribers. Let me explain. So let's say I have a cookie blog, okay? And I have a landing page that says, let's come over here. I have a landing page that says, come sign up and get my top 10 cookie recipes. So that's the content upgrade. That's all of that. And I'm adding them to the cookie sequence, okay? So here we go into the cookie sequence. What I'm gonna do is ask them inside of the sequence, I love cookies, chocolate chip is my favorite. What's your favorite type of cookie? So this is where I can use, we call this the internal survey method, where you can ask people and tag them based on their interests, okay? So now what this allows me to do is know these are the type of cookies that people are most interested in. These are the ones that they love the most. All right, so let me just double check. Remember, let's go through this real quick. I just have a fake URL in there right now, so don't pay attention to this. But again, here are the link triggers: chocolate chip, sugar. I could have a couple more in there. Let's just say I have, and I don't have the link triggers set up yet, but let's say I have oatmeal raisin and monster cookies. Okay, so if that's the case, then all I need to do now to just show you the difference between segments and tags. So I know that these are the 4 tags, right? So now I know these are the cookies that people favor the most. Let's come and go ahead and save this and come back over to subscribers. So now if I want to send an email, actually let's bring up broadcast too. So let's say I want to send an email. That person is probably a liar. I just noticed this is a brand new person. All right. Let's say I want to send a new broadcast and I just want to send it to people who love chocolate chip cookies. All right, so let's come in here and add a filter that I want to send an email to the tag of people who love cookies, chocolate chip. All right. So obviously there's no one there, but if there were people there, then I would send this email just to chocolate chip cookie people. All right. But let's say that, now when I only have 4 tags, it's not really a big deal. It's not a huge deal. Let's be honest. It's a first world problem to say, oh man, I gotta click on sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies and oatmeal. Like, I gotta click on 4 tags. Okay, fine, you got me there. But let's say you have a lot more, or you're like me and you don't even want to click on those 4. This is where a segment comes in really handy, because this segment, let's come back over here. And I'm just gonna click in here to edit so you can see what I've done. Is this, if I choose to send to this segment, now my segment includes everyone who loves chocolate chip cookies, everyone who loves sugar cookies, so these 2 tags, and this is another big thing that I don't think people really fully understand when they first sign up for ConvertKit. I know I didn't, is that you can send to forms in ConvertKit just like you can send to a tag. And so I didn't have the right one set, but let's say these tags or the forms, and let's look for the cookie one. All right, there we go. So like I said, there's no one signed up for these right now because they're dummy things. But now you can see that I have, this is gonna be the best way for me to send an email to everyone who signed up for my cookie blog, okay? And the beautiful thing is, now if someone, of course, a lot of people are gonna come through the form, and some might not click on any of the links to define their favorite type of cookie. So this is a perfect way for me to get everyone. And also, like, some people are going to come through the form and click on the chocolate chip link. It's not going to send them duplicate emails. I know duplicate emails can be a real problem with some other tools, and it's not going to be a problem for you with ConvertKit, okay? So again, just to reiterate, difference between segments and tags. Segments organize tags, and tags organize subscribers, all right? And forms are another way to organize subscribers. And there are some different ways to use those. If you're interested in some different ways to use forms, just go ahead. In fact, let me show you another thing. I'll try and put this in all the comments or the show notes or whatever it ends up being. Right here. How to segment subscribers in ConvertKit. So here's a video where I show all of this and I illustrate it. So I would check this out also. Okay, I think it's really valuable if you're having some trouble with segments and tags and all of that. Okay, that's the main thing. Let me see what our time is like right now. All right, 31 minutes, perfect. So especially if maybe you watch this on double speed, you'll have cruised right through it. But everyone, thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions about ConvertKit, please go ahead and write into us, send us an email, help@convertkit.com. You can also go to the help center, the KB, help.convertkit.com. We'd love to hear from you. Join our Slack community also in any, just ask us about it, or you can find it in any email that you've sent us in the past and we've replied back to. We should be able to help you there. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a great day and welcome to ConvertKit. We're so glad that you're here.